This week's search is a labour of love.
The house puts its warm arms around you and gives you a hug.
Wow. Wow.
But like all relationships, it has its ups and downs.
I'm not sensing a great deal of love.
I'm not madly in love with it. This house does feel a little bit too big.
It just doesn't have that.
And even good old-fashioned fights.
Let's just hope no one gets hurt.
This week we're in Wiltshire with its plains and downs.
And we've got 2 searches that are anything but plain.
But they might leave us feeling down.
Both our couples are looking in the villages and small towns of Wiltshire. After a dip in recent years, the market's starting to perk up.
But our couples are both after very specific types of properties, and agents are telling us that for those homes, demand is high, and guess what? Supply is low.
This week, I'm helping Vicky and Andy, who want a home to accommodate family and business. They currently live in a 1970s semi near Bournemouth and are desperate to move.
The number one thing is it needs to be bigger than this.
Yeah, we just need more space.
I would have moved yesterday. That's how desperate I am to move.
Their daughter Isabel is now 8 months old, and they're thinking of having more kids. Any idea how many more?
Ideally, I'd like 4, which is why we kind of need a 4-bedroom house, really.
4 in total, not 4 more.
No, 4 in total.
And they want space for 2 businesses to be run from home.
The business is running an internet garden tools company, and that all happens from this very small room.
But it's software developer Andy's sideline that's the real spanner in the works. He wants to turn his passion for working on 4x4 vehicles into a full-time business, and wants one property with the family home and his workshop.
If a commute is to walk to the end of the drive to the workshop, then that'd be fine for me.
So is this search about family or business?
I would say it's about the family.
You think the search is about family?
I would think so.
I think it's pretty half and half.
Uh-oh, could be us getting stuck soon.
Good morning, you two.
Morning.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
You wanted a bit of space, didn't you? Something like this would be fine.
Yeah.
I tell you, you're lucky that I'm here and Kirstie isn't. And I'll tell you for why. Because the moment that she would hear 5 cars, she'd go, I'm not having a worry, you get rid of the cars, concentrate on your family. She would applaud you for wanting 4 children and planning for that, when she would hate you for having all the cars. Because it is going to distort the search, because you're trying to constantly balance future family needs with future business needs.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
tough.
Yes.
There will be compromises that we're going to end up discussing.
I think I would compromise on the number of children and say 2 would be enough.
Vicky?
I'm not sure. I think that's where we might have a bit of conflict.
You're telling me, if they can't agree on how many kids to have, how are they going to agree on a house? This search is split right down the middle. For the family, they want 4 bedrooms and a period property, and for business, they want a large workshop, space for 5 cars, an office and storage, and all of that for $400,000. They're flexible on area and are happy anywhere an hour and a half southwest of Swindon. But as they're asking for so much, I'm not convinced they'll get everything they want.
And while Vicky and Andy are after family, business and the rest, nomadic pair Malcolm and Jenny are desperate to settle down.
Been together 7 years. We rented a house for a short while. We then went overseas for a couple of years and lived in India. And now is the time for us to find our own house rather than dotting in somebody else's house or living out of a suitcase.
They currently live in Chipping Sodbury, in a house Malcolm inherited from his father, but it just doesn't feel like home.
I know that I don't want to just live in a house that's a place that you just live and that's all you do. I want a place that you really feel like it's a home and you walk in and give you a big warm hug.
So they're on the hunt for a rural idyll within spitting distance of Trowbridge, which is where call centre manager Jenny works. And it's close to the place Malcolm's folk band practices. And the place he sells Indian curios. And the place he does his paramotoring. The wind was knocked out of their search 4 months ago when their offer on a dream property came crashing down. Since then, they've only been looking at houses on the internet.
In all honesty, out of the probably 100 that I've looked at on the internet, I've probably dismissed about 95% of them purely on the front photograph of what I see.
Take it from me, you can't find a house sitting on the sofa.
The good news is that with the sale of their home and a small mortgage, they'll have a decent budget of 240 grand.
It would be great to be mortgage-free.
I'm prepared to go and pay that bit extra for the
Jen's
right
prepared
house.
to go a bit extra to the right house, and so I'll go along with it.
It's time for me to restore some karma.
You are looking for something with character and soul and all of that stuff. That is a problem at your budget. Now, at any budget, you have to compromise. I've worked with people who've got £5 million budgets, and they're compromising.
And compromising is particularly tough when you've already fallen for one house and had the rug pulled out from under you.
So, how many things have you seen since that?
None.
None?
None.
You're telling me that you haven't been into a single house since the house that you loved and lost?
Correct.
Great.
I've looked at hundreds on the internet.
Great.
Malcolm and Jenny's dream home needs just 2 bedrooms, but they also want a home for their 2 cars. Most of all, they want the house to hug them. They've got £240,000 to spend. And they're certainly clear on where they want it. Any village or small town near Trowbridge.
Oh, that was a long journey.
Hiya.
Hi.
Welcome to my office. I'm all techied up this week
Are you?
because they've rejected a number of properties on the internet, and I am going to go and review every single one.
Okay.
And they rejected that one because it didn't have enough parking.
Well, you can review a bunch of mine as well, because
Really?
I'm a bit lost, to be honest. I think they're a bit lost. They know they want different things, but they haven't really resolved what they're going to do about it. Completely at 6s and 7s.
What, the couple
Yeah.
want different things from each other?
And from life. He wants 2 kids, she wants 4. He wants a business. I thought it was just a sort of enthusiastic garage to do a bit.
Oh no, it's not cars and people who haven't
I've already
had a
warned
future
them
talk.
that you're going to be friends with them.
So for Vicky and Andy, we've got 400 grand to get 4 beds for family and facilities for 4x4s.
And for Jenny and Malcolm, it's a budget of £240,000 for a characterful, cosy and cuddly cottage.
Both of our couples are looking for that extra something special. So I'm checking out the hottest property Wiltshire has to offer.
Honestly.
£400 may seem like a lot of money, but with dreams of 2 businesses and 4 kids, their budget's tight. This place is in Studley, about 4.5 miles from Chippenham. It's got 4 bedrooms and outbuildings, and it's on the market at £395,000. That's right at the top of the budget, but still it comes with compromise. It's a great family home, and there's plenty of space for Vicky's business, but Andy would have to find room for his 4x4 workshop somewhere else.
Coming straight through into this sort of family, day room, casual dining, opening up through there to the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
What are your initial thoughts? I know the kitchen's important to you, Vicky.
I'm not sure, but I don't think it's got enough workspace.
As in...
Kind of an actual
As in all of this?
preparation, kind of, yeah.
There's loads of it.
You know
Not
how
big.
much kit I've got.
Well, they did say this search was about space. We just didn't know that meant kitchen workspace.
For my money, it strikes a balance between business and family.
It's not wowing me lots and lots, I have to say. But I think it does depend on the outbuildings, because, I mean, if the outbuildings are quite good, then perhaps there's... We could take a relook at the house, perhaps.
It's fair enough that Vicky wants to see the space for her business, but the house itself is great. There's plenty of family space downstairs. There are 4 good bedrooms and an ensuite upstairs.
Ooh, ow. That would annoy me.
Ah, so what will they think of the office? It would be perfect for Vicky's gardening business.
Oh, watch your head.
Oh, you're right.
When it comes to property searching, Phil always advocates using your head.
I think it'd sort of work if it was just your internet business. But
Yeah.
if you're wondering how much reading is left for me.
I don't think it's going to work.
No.
Marks out of 10?
Oh, I think I'm on a 5.
I was about to say 5 actually. It's 5, yeah.
Where have I fallen short here?
I think for you, it's
you.
the
No, don't answer for him.
Oh, sorry.
It has got to be the outbuildings.
Yeah.
It's not quite big enough. We could kind of rejig it, but I don't think it'd still work.
Does it deliver on anything?
For me, the only thing it really delivers on is my business and places to store that.
You don't seem to like the house that much,
No.
so let's move on.
Yes, I think so.
Come on. Stuffed that up, didn't I?
We're in Wiltshire with two couples keen for quiet countryside.
But only if they're provided with plenty of parking.
The romance of the rural retreat.
This first property we're going to may teach Jenny and Malcolm a valuable lesson. They've already rejected it after viewing it online. I want to show them where they've been going wrong. They were after off-street parking, which supposedly this property doesn't have.
But they wanted charm, character and a house that hugs them. And this 17th century cottage in Seend, 7 miles east of Trowbridge, has big warm arms to throw around them. There are 2 bedrooms and it's been advertised at just under 230 grand. That's 10 grand under budget.
This house is the first example of where I think you've been going wrong on your search.
Okay.
Because I happen to know that you've rejected this house on the internet because of its lack of parking. And further study of its circumstance reveals that it does have parking for 2 cars. What are you feeling?
We actually did drive down here when it was completely packed all the way down
but
here.
it probably had the car of the owner.
Yeah, quite probably, yeah.
Okie doke. Let's have a look.
So the parking is partly out on the street, partly in front of the house. But if that's ever full, you can use the car park at the end of the lane. See what you find out when you ask?
The house has 2 reception rooms, one of which is already set up as a music room for Malcolm's folk band. It's got 2 bedrooms and even has an old well in the kitchen. How's that for a period feature?
There we are. Come on in, boys and girls. So it's 2 tiny little cottages knocked together.
You hit your head on the beams.
I like quirkiness. I like used to I had the little glass thing in the window. I love that.
It's lovely. So this first viewing...
First impression's good. First impression's good, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. OK, kitchen it is then.
Fantastic indeed. But will they see the kitchen as impeccable or impractical?
And then this is the kitchen.
Wow. It's actually quite a big kitchen.
It is quite a big kitchen for houses of this date, of this size, and just that is the well. They discovered it when they were doing work. It's the original well, and they've just made a feature of it.
Fantastic.
I've said it before. The internet is a limited tool for house hunting. It's a very, very limited tool.
We wouldn't have looked for this, would we? I don't think we wouldn't have looked for this, but it's just now you see it. It's lovely. It's lovely. It's all very rustic. It's got that huggable.
But
put its arms around you and.
Often I show people houses like this, and they're like, But clearly you totally
I love it.
get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what's coming here. Not the old happy dance.
Early bathroom, as Phil Spencer always says.
This is a perfect happy dance situation. They wanted character, and this house is full of it. Everywhere you look, there's something special.
So I think, boys and girls, we've all learned a lesson. The internet is brilliant for lots of things, but as a house hunting tool, it's very limited. Nothing beats actually getting in and seeing the property yourself. What do you reckon?
I'm actually quite surprised
Yeah.
how nice the place is, and probably a bit shocked that we dismissed it.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit daft for kind of...
Oh, no, don't be silly. It happens all the time. No, I mean, you know, it happens all the time. That's what my job is. My job is not necessarily to find a house for you. It's to reintroduce you to how to find it yourself. Yeah. I'm a facilitator.
I think they've learnt their lesson. But this place doesn't give them all the space they're after. Yes, they want the house that hugs them, but now we need a bigger house with just as tight an embrace.
I'm looking for more space for Vicky and Andy too. They want a 4-bedroom family home with room for 2 businesses, one of which is a 4x4 operation that needs a large workshop and parking for 5 cars. The first house performed well as a family home and for Vicky's internet business, but there wasn't space for Andy's 4x4s. Well, there is here. This place is in the rural location of Blunsdon, and its asking price would get them £1 change from their budget of 400,000. There are some commercial units close by, off-putting for some buyers, but they may prove the perfect location for Andy's business.
Inside, though, we see that when Andy gets what he wants, Vicky doesn't get what she wants. This house has been on the market for 6 months, possibly because there's quite a bit of work to do to create a family space.
Oh, right.
This will be one of the reasons it's not selling. It's got loads of bedrooms upstairs. This is not a nice, big, happy family kitchen.
No, but it does have quite a lot of workspace.
She's
That
keen.
being said,
She's keen on her workspace.
I like a lot of mess, Phil.
It's on at just under the 400,000 mark, and in my opinion, the reason why it's not selling is because of the poor layout of the kitchen. But it is the outside that I want to show you, because that is the other reason that is things that are holding it back. Now, out here, sort of block-sized garden, double garage. I'll tell you what I think is putting a lot of people off this house. Behind that hedge is a commercial unit, and that's therefore affecting the marketability and the value of this house. We've actually approached the owners of them about renting space, so for your business needs, that could work very well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So what is holding back other people potentially is actually a great benefit to you.
Yeah. Excellent.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Space for his business is crucial to Andy liking a property. So while he inspects the workshops, Vicky and I talk family.
I'm conscious here that you've both got expanding businesses. Andy's particularly, as years go by, he's going to need more and more space. So he's very mindful of that. You're very mindful of the fact you'd like 4 children. Where do the 2 tally up, do you think?
I think the four kids really is a priority. I think he's kidding himself, really.
I won't tell him that.
Don't tell him. And his business will just have to stay outside for a bit.
Well then, it all comes down to the business side of things. Is Andy happy to have his workshop next door?
What did you make of the workshops?
I'm not sure about the ones next door.
Oh no.
I'm not sensing a great deal of love.
I'm not madly in love with it, but
I think it's odd. It ticks a lot of boxes, but it just doesn't have that last little thing that makes you go, oh yes, this is it.
Andy's 4x4s are really blocking this search. He just can't expect to find a perfect family home with that kind of business space attached.
Malcolm and Jenny were charmed by the first house I showed them. But now it's time to think practically. Their search criteria included off-street parking and plenty of storage space, and this second property really delivers. There are 4 bedrooms, a sitting room, and a huge kitchen. Unsurprisingly, all this costs a little more. It's on the market at almost £260,000, but we're confident we can get it for closer to our budget of £240,000.
In you come.
Wow.
That is a huge kitchen.
That's a big kitchen.
It's a big kitchen, and then the bathroom is upstairs with 4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms?
4 bedrooms?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah. First impressions are very good. I'm quite surprised.
Why are you quite surprised?
It's got more character in it than I
Yes.
expected to have.
Yeah,
I was
it has.
expecting it to be more modern when I walked in.
This is pushing you to the ends of your budget. You would ask me, why would you do that? And I would say, to give you those things. The huge kitchen, the parking, the large garden, and at the top end of your budget, this is the best.
Right.
You could choose this house thinking with your head and your heart. It's got bags of charm and loads of space.
Wow. Look at the brick fireplace.
So, what have we got?
One lovely, characterful house which they already adored. Another huge, characterful house which they could afford if they wanted to. I'm just waiting for the bomb to drop. It can't be this easy. It's never this easy, is it? It's never this easy. The only reason I'm not actually putting my feet up on this bed and having 40 winks is because these boots are impossible to get on and off.
This place has ticked every box that we asked for, but then you look at it again and you think, well, actually, do we need all those things?
This house does feel a little bit too big.
Yeah.
Oh dear, Kirstie. Better keep those boots on.
What are your thoughts at the end of the day?
The space, I think,
Do
in
we
this
need all that
house.
space for two people? Does it become more of a challenge to fill that space, more to keep that space clean and tidy? And will we be paying more on a mortgage for space that we're not actually using for much of the time?
Unbelievable. They don't like it because it's too big, while I'm desperately trying to find somewhere big enough for Vicky and Andy. Any idea how far it is to Trowbridge from here?
In a car, about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Perfect.
2 minutes.
Thanks very much. We've searched all of Wiltshire for a family home and business premises. Andy doesn't seem willing to compromise on having a great big 4x4 business on his own land, and it's really limiting our search. We've looked at everything on the market and a whole lot off the market. Having trawled the whole county, we've even started looking back through properties that they've already seen to see if any have slipped through the net.
This is the one that they've seen with the timber yard next door.
Yeah, but it turns out the nature of the timber yard has changed.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. I mean, that looks absolutely perfect.
It's a big family house with a flaming great timber yard in the garden, for goodness sake, and under budget. Vicky and Andy loved this place, but were scared off when the planning department indicated Andy may not get permission to run his business from here.
We've spoken to the council and they were worried his 4x4 business would mean an increase in traffic. But because it's so specialist, with only a few clients at a time, that's simply not true. And with a search as specific as theirs, this is the only thing we've seen that comes close to delivering what they need.
Just look at my hair.
It's beautiful.
It's all frizzy now.
It's beautiful. They're going to love it.
No, they're not. They're going to kill you, Phil.
Me, Kirstie.
Nice to meet you. We're here in the rain for a reason. He's in charge, not me. Into the house now.
Believe me.
Go.
This is a cracker. The garden's a good size with woods behind it. The master suite's nearly 300 square feet. There's 3 more bedrooms as well as bags of room downstairs.
Just looking at the thing on paper, I was like, well, it's that house. And Phil said, well, they've already seen it. I was like, I don't care. You know, I don't care. Let's sort out this issue, whatever it is, because that house stands out head and shoulders above everything else. Your needs are quite specific. This house is uniquely suited to your needs.
Yeah.
Did that sound a bit aggressive?
No, it's exactly the reason why we came to see the house in the first place.
And has it preyed on your mind since you dismissed it?
Yeah, we never thought we'd find another one like it because it is unique in that respect.
And why didn't you come back and tackle the issues again? What made you so sure that...
Because we got pretty much a no out of the planning office.
Planning permission can be frightening, but with their search, they just can't afford to run at the first sign of trouble.
Planning departments can be much more approachable than you'd think. And if Andy and Vicky are serious, a planning consultant could really help them here.
Do you think he's risk averse?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't think he'd like to buy this house knowing that planning is still an issue.
Is this the dream house for you?
Yeah, pretty much.
you are going to be the one that has to drive this through.
Yeah.
What do you reckon to the existing footprint of these buildings? Is it usable?
Yeah, it's a good starting point. I think we could, might have to raise the roof, sort out the doors, but in terms of footprint, I think we could make a start in here, yeah.
Phil has said there's a sort of slight division on the 2 children, 4 children front.
Yes.
And it seems to me that this house is big enough that you could quietly and discreetly introduce numerous kids.
Absolutely.
Really, no one would notice.
Yeah.
I guarantee you what Kirstie's talking to Vicky about.
Yeah.
Numbers of children. I can see that coming a mile off. Guaranteed. I mean, your good wife does seem absolutely committed to 4, doesn't she?
Yes, well, I think I said to someone else that I'd lay odds that if number 2's a boy, she'll stop.
OK.
I reckon.
OK.
Otherwise, you're going to end up with 4 girls, and that could be a nightmare.
You said it, not me.
Do you think the 2-4 thing will just resolve itself?
Yes, we'll have number 3 and then number 4. So
That's just what will happen.
that's just what will happen.
You might need those if Kirstie starts up about numbers of children. What, Kirstie? I can't hear you. They're quite good, aren't they? I'm going to keep them. Right, we better find out what they're on about.
Right.
I suspect both of us will be in trouble at some point.
No trouble here, Phil. If they're willing to work on the planning issues, this search could be home free.
I sort of parachuted in, sorted out your problem, and now I shall fly away. I'm like Tinkerbell, really, tinkling around.
Where are we at?
Well, subject to planning.
Absolutely.
And a few other things, so issues with you, but other than that.
Yeah.
What issues?
The workshop currently is probably big enough to start in, but won't be big enough to continue in.
We've really struggled to find the unit together with the house. And in looking for it, we've restricted the numbers of houses and opportunities to a massive extent.
Yeah.
If you really would consider a house and then renting the unit down the road, then
The world's your oyster.
the world's your oyster.
Right.
Yeah.
We really could have chosen a whole bunch of different houses, but we've got one. If you were minded to go that way, then we could show it to you.
Do you know
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Just, to see what other our options are.
Yeah.
I think it would be good.
Ooh, showing great restraint there, Mr. Spencer. But I think you've got Vicky on side.
But will Andy even go through the front door if there isn't a workshop attached?
This week we're helping 2 couples who want the fresh air and green lands of Wiltshire.
But with the usual high hopes and tight budgets, it could be an uphill struggle.
Jenny and Malcolm are looking for the house that hugs them, and they're still feeling the warm embrace of the first place I showed them.
Wow! But they do want to be mortgage-free, and we might just get this place for close to the 200 grand they have in equity.
It's a 3-bed period semi in the small town of Melksham, priced at £210,000.
Time to think with the head, not the heart.
Come and have a look at this, Malcolm. So, back on the ground floor,
Right.
living room, is the kind of the way these Georgian houses are designed. It's quite a sort of grander Georgian house that's shrunk. I'm very conscious of the fact that you would have preferred to be in a village. This is on the edge of town, but it's mortgage-free, or 210.
Yeah.
You know, gives you that opportunity.
Mortgage-free is obviously an attraction, but it hasn't grabbed me yet. And we've always said all along we want that house that just grabs you the moment you set foot in it, or even see it from the outside.
Yeah, I heard you wanted to be hugged by a house.
Hugged, yeah.
It's a very romantic
It
thing to
is.
say.
The house that you look forward to go to the path and come in, and it just kind of puts its warm arms around you and gives you a hug. But you know what I mean. I described that, and you know what I mean, I think.
This is all getting a bit touchy-feely for me.
Well, if it's all about the hug, we better get back to the loving embrace of house number 1.
You've got this wrapped.
I know.
You've got it absolutely wrapped.
I know. I know.
In one house.
I know.
I'm extremely jealous.
I know. I know, I'm very clever.
No, I wouldn't go quite so far. Slightly lucky.
Why would you not go so far
but
as
you
to say,
pulled it
yes,
off.
you're very clever?
Because
I just redirected them. I rebooted them. I said, don't reject these properties. You haven't seen them properly.
well, you bang on.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm a million miles off at my end, so I'm going to have to for Moose.
OK. Cool. I mean, not cool. Sad-ish.
We've put in hundreds of hours and travelled hundreds of miles looking for the perfect family home with business premises for Vicky and Andy.
But they'd get so much more if Andy would consider a home with a business somewhere else.
So I'm about to show him just that, whether he likes it or not. This 4-bedroom house on the other side of Melksham is a little over budget at just under $430,000, but I'm sure there's a deal that could be done. There's nowhere here for Andy's business. Vicky seemed keen to see a great family home, but I just don't know if Andy's going to open his eyes to the idea.
Right. Well, see what you think of this.
Oh, wow. Good hallway.
Huge entrance hall, isn't it?
Big old family kitchen. Plenty of room down there.
Wow. That's fantastic. Loads of workspace.
This is the type of space that you can buy for that money without the business premises. It really does open so much more up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a more sensible option. Because then you get what you want and I get what I want.
You get what you want first.
Result.
Let's have a look upstairs.
Wow, Andy's got a smile on his face. This might just work.
It's a good wide staircase.
Yeah.
Sense of space the whole way through this place. Big family bathroom. A really strong family house. All the bedrooms are very generous. This is the master.
This is lovely.
Ensuite with a roll-top bath.
That's fantastic.
It does feel like a really great family home.
Could you see you being mum, having 4 kids in here?
I think the space is phenomenal, and I think you could easily fit or lose 4 kids in here.
Anyway, have a think.
Yes.
Have an explore. It's a great house. It really is. I just wish I'd had more time to do a bit more research on this brief, because it's a brand new search.
It's huge. It's ginormous.
You can hear her saying it's huge, it's enormous. It is.
I love the downstairs. I love the big airy rooms.
Yeah. This situation gives you a good family home, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, it is a good family home.
It is a good family home.
Phil, all you needed to do was show Andy what he'd get if he runs the business elsewhere.
It's big up there, isn't it?
It is big.
And it's big out here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're quite excited that in this budget we could get a family home like this, yeah.
I could have told you that days ago. What would you like to do now? We've got a couple of options. We have lined up a planning consultant back in Wootton Bassett, so we could go and meet with them. The other thing that we've lined up is for you to go and have a look at one of the industrial units up the road here, if that was of any interest.
I think the industrial unit up the road would be more useful.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Come on then.
What a transformation. Now Andy's going all out for separate business premises.
This industrial unit's over 1,000 square feet. It's only 5 minutes away, and even with rent and business rates, is still under £8,000 a year.
Well, who would have thought today we begin this search for fields and rural areas of Wiltshire? And where do we end up? So here we are.
Okay.
Fit a few 4x4s in here.
Yes.
Very useful for sort of start-up businesses because they don't operate it on a lease basis. You take a licence with a 2-month notice.
This is the kind of thing, wouldn't it? It would start to work in here, wouldn't it?
I think so.
Got your own ensuite.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Right, well, let's go and have a think about it.
Cool.
How's that for a turnaround? They might go for 2 properties we've shown them. Jenny and Malcolm seemed charmed by the first house Kirstie showed, and I can't wait to take them back there and see what all the fuss is about.
Well, I'm really excited about seeing this. Kirstie's told me all about it, and obviously I've heard a bit from you. It's very pretty.
It's wonderful.
What are you here to do today, Malcolm?
Well, the other day when we saw it was all a bit rushed and a bit kind of exciting, wasn't it? And just focusing on all the character and the features of the place. Today, though, we're going to look more at the practicalities, where you'll put the vacuum cleaner and where you'll keep all your little bits and pieces and where everything will fit.
That's exactly what second viewings are about. How are you feeling about it, Jenny?
I'm quite excited. Nervous, because obviously it's the first house I'll have ever bought, and want to make sure that we kind of get it right, really.
Yeah. Well, I'm dying to have a look.
Yeah?
Let's go in.
Let's go.
It's a bit like kind of walking back in time coming in here, isn't it? I mean, this is lovely. I really like the house. But after 6 months or so, whether it would become a bit of a pain.
In what respect?
Not having some of the bits and mod cons and storage facilities that you might have wanted. But in place, you're getting an awful lot of character and interest.
I think there's certainly a lot of things that we can do in here, and to be perfectly honest, a lot of modern appliances I don't really use anyway, things like microwaves, and I think at the moment the space of this house is comparable to what we already live in, and I think that this place could very much equal it, but offer a load more charm and value at the same time as well.
Yeah.
I'd say that's 1 vote cast for this house. What about Malcolm?
You're quite romantic about properties.
I am, yeah. It's got that huggability.
But what about the practicalities of actually living in here?
I think it's got more space than we thought it had, actually, the first time. First time we went away and we thought, well, it's a little bit small, but actually when you come back, there's plenty of room. And there's the musical connection, you know, this guy's a songwriter, I'm a songwriter, and it's just almost like there was something meant to be, if that's possible to be that romantic.
Ah, bless. Heartfelt house hunting.
My work here is done. I think it's absolutely fantastic. In fact, it's quite so fantastic. It's due for a fanfare, I think. If I could still play it, that would help.
Phil trumps again. Go and call the agent. Be as bold as brass.
Wow. It's on the market at 229,950. It's a difficult property to accurately value, simply because of the lack of comparisons. It is a unique, special home, and there aren't too many of those. That said, I think we've got to give them a bit of a pop and
I think so.
see how desperate they are or aren't. And the only way of doing that is throwing them an offer and gauging reaction.
I think that one's a little bit overpriced. Love it that we do. This is the bit where the head comes in and overrules the heart, if you like. This is where we have to be sensible.
How about this then? We go in at 216, because they might just come back to us and say, get 222, and we might do a deal at 220, and that would be a huge result.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Jenny and Malcolm would love to live mortgage-free, so the house, advertised at almost 230 grand, needs to come in closer to 200.
Lewis, it's Phil Spencer. Hello. Yeah, good, thank you. We've just had a conversation about the whys and wherefores of that property. It is difficult to justify the price, lack of comparables, where the market is at the moment. So the offer, and it's the best that we can do, I'm afraid, it's 216,000. I appreciate that is a little lower than perhaps you or your clients might have been hoping for. But as I say, it is made with very genuine intent, given the condition of the property, condition of the market, their ability to perform and to get the deal done quickly have all been taken into account. Can I leave that with you to gauge reaction your end? Bye. Yeah, he didn't sound particularly impressed. That's your fault.
Not the most promising of starts, Phil.
Hi, Lewis. Hi. Yeah, good. How'd you get on?
I've put in Malcolm and Jenny's offer of £216,000. It's nearly 14 grand under the asking price.
Hi, Lewis. Hi. Yeah, good. How'd you get on? Okay. Okay. Let me come back to you in a few moments. Thanks, Lewis. Bye. They are looking for something much closer to their asking price, you know, standard stuff.
Yeah.
Low 220s. Low, mid 220s. They want to do business.
220?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're not going above 220. So do we go back straight in with that as absolute final?
I think we do.
Okay.
Go for it. Do it. Well, he's trying to get us to go 222.
No.
Hi, Lewis. Malcolm and Jenny have been looking for a property for a long time, so they don't want this to drag out any further than absolutely necessary. Equally, they have a financial ceiling, and they've been very clear on what that is for this property. It's 220,000. Okay. Thanks, Lewis. Good luck. Bye. He was sounding a little bit more brighter. A little bit brighter. A little bit happier.
Well, I think if he knows that that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Don't worry about it. We're going to sort it. 220 is the price.
You think? That's a whopping 10 grand under the asking price.
Hi, Lewis. What news? Yeah. Yeah. Super stuff. We'll go from there. Thanks. It's yours.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Got that conversation went on such a long time. I was like, what's he talking about?
I'll turn away then.
You got a house that hugs you now, lovey?
Yes, we've got a house that hugs us.
Terrific.
Well, you're crying.
Yeah, a little tears. Yeah, it's like, ooh, that's happened.
Top work, Pip.
There's not quite so much joy for Vicky and Andy. We've transformed their search by showing them the type of family home they could get without business premises attached. It's a whole new search, and one it seems they're keen to continue.
So what are you going to do from here? What's the plan?
Well, I think now we search for the perfect family home that's within budget, and
I think we have to look for the business premises separately, which is going to require some research in the surrounding area, so that makes it a little trickier, but that's what we've got to do.
Well, listen, I think probably the best thing from here is I put you in touch with all the contacts that we've made. Hopefully in that way you'll be able to have a running start
That'd be good,
on the
yeah.
search.
yeah, that'd be fantastic.
You haven't found what you're looking for, but at least you now know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Good luck, all the best. I'm sure you'll crack it. I really am.
Cheers.
2 months later, still in their house near Bournemouth, Vicky and Andy are redefining their search for a separate home and business and are back on the property hunt with a vengeance.
The search is ever continuing, but it's been positive. I think we're mentally in a better place, aren't we, as to what we want out of a house now?
Yeah. A bit more focused.
A bit more focused, yeah.
This new search has also brought about some reality checks.
Kirstie told us we needed more money. I think she's right.
But we're looking for a slightly different house, not looking for a house to be in for 15 years, 20 years. We're looking for a house just to be in for 5, 10 years now, so almost like an intermediate house, aren't we?
Yeah.
But ever the optimist, they're not getting downhearted.
I really hope we find the house that I want. We know it exists. It's just whether people want to move out of it.
Yes. Yeah, it's possible that somebody's already living in it.
Now, what about the all-important number of bedrooms?
The current plan is definitely still to have 4 kids.
I'm going to father 4 children, I think.
You're going to be poor forever.
And a pauper, yeah.
You just need the house to fit them all in now. I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Meanwhile, Jenny and Malcolm are just days from moving into the huggable old cottage we got them for $220,000, and they've already got friendly with the locals.
We've been back here about 3 times or so. We've met the neighbours.
They invited us round and we had all champagne and canapes in the garden and met all the neighbours and lots of the local people. Really welcoming village.
We've already been enlisted to help at the village fete in August. We're now starting to see different character within the house. The garden's got different plants that are open. We're seeing different features in the property that we hadn't seen before, so I think it gets better and better. We're really just kind of like looking forward to actually moving in now.
And what was the valuable lesson we all learned from this?
We dismissed this place from the internet pictures.
The biggest thing that Phil and Kirstie taught us was that you need to physically go and look at a property, stand in it and get a feel for it, not just look at 2D pictures on an internet page.
At last, they can start living that country cottage life.
I'm really looking forward to just generally enjoying life now and letting that begin in our own space, spending more time together, enjoying copious amounts of wine in the garden, hopefully, in the summer before the sun goes.
Yeah. Come the winter, I'll chop the logs for the fire. I'm looking forward to doing a bit of that. I think it's going to be lovely in the summer and really cosy in the winter, and it's a lovely place to come home to.
One small house, one big hug, one very happy couple.